when the whole Gaza operation, I went solo over there, basically.
In Gaza?
Rafah, the Gaza
Rafah.
border crossing.
Yeah.
So it's ISIS territory. It's called Al-Arish in Egypt. But the way it kind of started was like, it's kind of crazy because I knew like October 7th happened and I was like, hey, we should start preparing for this. And for us is like, even Ukraine, I was there with that whole crisis, right? Like, I don't play political. I don't care. I know that there are women and children in war zones that are going to need help. We have American citizens that are going to need help. I don't care if they're Palestinian. I don't care if they're Israeli. I don't care, whatever. I'm going to go to that area. And so I wound up going to Israel because I had a team originally that was going to go into Gaza and get these constituents out for Lindsey Graham, Mark Wayne Mullen, Mitch McConnell, and another one. Because we work very tightly with these senators when there's Americans stuck. And so we knew these individuals are going. So I go over there and I'm waiting for my team to come and like, everyone's getting denied entry. Like one of my guys couldn't get in there. And so then I'm sitting there hanging out in Israel by myself. And I'm like, I saw real quickly, I'm like, one, there was nonstop, like this is like a week after. So they're constantly just kind of rocket barrages coming in. So I go down to Eilat and that's where the 3 missiles were intercepted. Those cruise missiles were coming in. And I'm like, this is supposed to be the area that never gets hit. And they're aiming for this thing. So I'm like, then I was going out to Beersheba. And they were getting hit. So I was like, there's really no good area because I was trying to be on the border to see if like, hey, the gates, because it's more of like a logistical game of like, I got these people, I need to get them out. They're at the gate. Like, let me work this. And so there was nothing I could do in Israel. They had their thing going on. They were still dealing with all the aftermaths of October 7th. And so I had whispers from my source network because I still have a very in-depth source network of individuals. I could usually call somebody in some place and know somebody. And so I got a mover shaker in Egypt. I got a mover shaker in Gaza. I had a mover and shaker in Israel, and kind of just all working this for it. And I had whispers that I could potentially, bribe the North Egypt border crossing, or not bribe, or work with somebody in the government and get it there. The Egyptian government was amazing for that. So problem is, people don't know this, like North Egypt, the North Sinai is a military restricted zone. Like no Americans are allowed up there. So that's like hurdle 1. So I have to then ditch all my gear in Israel. Luckily, my Israeli buddies, I gave all my plate carrier and everything else, night vision goggles, all these things, because we originally planned to go into Gaza. And I ditch all my gear. I then go by like buggy across the border and go through Egypt, get through, and pretty easy transition. They just stole my sat phone. Like they didn't steal it, but they took it. You're not allowed to have sat phones there. Get over to Cairo, and then I had to figure out how to get up to the border. I don't want to get in depth of how I did, but I got up to Al-Arish. It was ISIS territory at one point. It's a pretty dangerous little area. And there's one hotel, and I'm like sitting at this border town, and all of a sudden, like, there's like 3 other Americans, and it's like State Department, TSA. They come over like, who the fuck are you? I was like sitting with some cat. I'm like, I don't know, who are you? Like, dude, I'm like, I ain't no trouble here, just hanging out. And what boiled down to was, Rafah was shut down, and the reason it was shut down is because there was a miscommunication, or so I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but there was a road that was supposed to be blown up, and we can't get our Americans out for this reason. It was a geopolitical thing that was going down between ambassadors and people. So I just went up to the road and took a video of the whole thing and sent it to the Senate. So then you put that in the hands of the Senate, all hell broke loose, and the gates wound up opening.
Why? Because the road was
not broken, not blown up.
Oh, man.
But when you're not supposed to have Americans up there, or third-party Americans, I kind of blew the lid off of.
Why do you think that they were saying, like, what was their motive for that?
I don't want to say it was Egypt. I don't want to say. I don't want. Look, the Egyptian government, they were great people. I don't want to, go into any, because I want to go back to the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to
throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I want to keep it very political. All it was I was able to give evidence to said individuals to then give them the power to then cause hell.